The Hub on Hollywood. I'm James.
I'm Jamie.
And we love movies.
In particular, Spider-Man. Spider-Man No Way Home.
The latest trailer.
The long-anticipated, long-awaited second trailer has just dropped, and we are going to watch that now, James, and let the world know what we think.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, so we're going to watch it and then dissect it afterwards and give our initial thoughts. But if you're ready, we can hit play in 3, 2, and 1. Of course, we need a little teaser for the trailer, of course.
Right, and then here comes the actual trailer. Poor Tom Holland sat in the rain.
I've only had 1 week.
Well, it wouldn't be Peter Parker if he wasn't sad sometimes.
That was when you found out.
Oh.
Some good looking swinging in the subway.
When you botched that spell where you wanted everyone to forget that Peter Parker's Spider-Man,
It's Doctor Strange.
we started getting some visitors.
Doctor Strange blaming Peter, saying when you mess up the spell.
From every universe.
Green Goblin, Electro, new suit.
Doc Ock in his arms.
That's gonna be a
Doc
crazy
Ock.
fight.
You're not
Fighting
Peter
Peter.
Parker.
Oh.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Dr. Otto Octavius.
Wait, no, seriously, what's your actual name?
There are others out there. We need to send
So,
them back.
what appears to be a team-up, maybe? Between Spider-Man and Doc Ock?
You know, all this is kind of your mess. I know a couple of magic words myself, starting with the word please.
Please, Scooby-Doo this crap.
You're flying out into the
J.
darkness
Jonah Jameson.
to fight ghosts.
What do you mean?
They all die fighting Spider-Man. It's their
Plot
fate.
point.
I'm sorry, kid.
Yeah, me too.
Don't.
Spider-Man fighting Doctor Strange for that box.
Yeah, it looks like
to our universe.
Doctor Strange may be trying to
Take
protect
this away from me.
the universe, but in doing so, they may have to kill some villains.
You're struggling to have
Green Goblin.
everything you
Yeah, Willem
want
Dafoe.
while the world tries to make you choose.
This is all my fault. I can't save everyone.
Bunch of sinister villains versus Peter Parker all on his own. It looks like
Or
the Statue
is
of
he?
Liberty crumbling. MJ falling!
No Way Home.
What's happening?
They're starting to come through, and I can't stop them.
December 17th.
The
exclusively in
multiverse,
movie
it's
theaters.
splitting.
Tickets on sale November 29th.
So what's your initial thought? Because we can go down bullet point by bullet point, but your initial thoughts about the trailer.
I think, oh my gosh, James, my initial reaction was actually disappointment. And I don't know if many people feel that way. I just feel overall that Tom Holland is enough. Tom Holland's Spider-Man, his timeline, his story would have been enough for a good movie. I'm just worried that there's just way too many layers and just way too much happening here that it's going to take away from a really good character. So I'm getting nervous. I'm getting nervous, James, by seeing this reaction, this trailer, and that's my initial reaction. What about you?
I'm digging it. I mean, I know we our first thought when the first trailer dropped was they're making this too big. I want to focus in on Peter Parker, this version of Peter Parker, and have him be, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Kind of go back to the roots of it. But now, of course, it's been expanded because of Disney and Marvel into this entire multiverse that's being created. But, along the way, I've kind of shifted gears, and I'm fully on board with this big. If they're going to go big, might as well go all out.
Yeah.
And if they're introducing
Right, I
villains
guess.
from other universes, then why not? Try to incorporate the other Spider-Man, which we didn't see in this trailer. But
Right,
let's just go
right.
right down from the beginning. It opens up with Peter Parker talking about his life being chaotic since he was being since he gained his superpowers. And then it goes to Doctor Strange lecturing Peter, saying that Peter messed up the spell, and because of that, to try to get people to forget that he's Spider-Man. And because of the mess up, that's created this split or this rift in the multiverse, and they're all colliding now. And this caused visitors of every universe to show up. And then we're seeing Doc Ock, of course, Green Goblin, Sandman, Electro, the Lizard. And, you know, this looks like it's going to be a Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six. However, that's only one, two, three, four, five.
Five right,
villains. And so there's a potential 6-1 hiding that they haven't revealed yet. So people have been guessing or theorizing that it could either be a Vulture, played by Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Like he'll show up. He's in jail right now, but of course they could break out at any time. Or this could be the introduction of Venom into the Marvel MCU, Sony MCU merger. So there's that. One thing I liked, and this may be the big plot of the film, is when Doctor Strange says that there are others out there and they need to Scooby-Doo this crap. And what does Scooby-Doo do? Scooby-Doo does catch monsters, and so I think it's going to be their job to try to catch these villains, these monsters like Electro, Doc Ock, Green Goblin, and then get them back into their universe, or else things are going to get really weird.
Well, it sounds like Doctor Strange. Oh my gosh, James! It's just he's putting a lot on Peter here. He's putting a lot on Peter, and I think that we are seeing a little bit more of the plot points. It makes it sound like he wants Peter to kill all of these villains, because all of these villains die at the hands of Spider-Man in all of these different universes, and it sounds like he wants Doctor Strange wants him to either round them up so that Doctor Strange can kill him, or he wants Peter to kill them, and then it puts Doctor Strange and Spider-Man at odds, because then Spider-Man is reaching for that box that Doctor Strange has with the Eye of Agamotto on it, and we're not sure what it is. Is it a prison with all of the villains inside? And then they get released. Like, what is that in particular? What does that relate to the story?
Yeah, and then we're seeing a team-up of some sort, because from the very beginning we see this fight between Doc Ock and Spider-Man Peter Parker. However, it looks like when Doc Ock realizes this isn't his Peter Parker from his universe, his Spider-Man, then that's when I guess there's this kind of truce that's made. I think Peter's explaining, you're in the wrong universe, I'm trying to get you back home, you don't belong here. If not, a lot of things can go wrong. And it seems like there's going to be some kind of partnering. And in this one, in the scene where Doc Ock has one of his octo arms extended, and you could see it turning red, people are theorizing that during the fight, Doc Ock ripped off Peter's four, extra, I guess, arms that come out, like the spider arms, and
is absorbing them, kind of
absorbed it, and so that was a little tidbit that people are picking up on. Also, another thing that people are picking up on is, of course, we don't see Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, we don't see Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. However, people are doing their research, doing their homework online, and trailers are released all around the world, and there are different versions of those trailers that vary slightly. And apparently, there's a Brazil trailer version where it shows at that final scene where it shows Spider-Man going towards the Lizard, Sandman, and Electro, which is done by Jamie Foxx. We'll talk about that. But when he's leaping over there, there's a millisecond frame where it shows Lizard flying into nothing, but then all of a sudden it looks like he gets punched. And so people are thinking, okay, so it seems like the Sony, Disney, Marvel, they just edited out the Spider-Man, either Toby or Andrew, or maybe both, in that scene, because that's going to be like the climactic final battle. And so people are saying that's a good enough hint to say that there are other Spider-Man in this movie. It's already been leaked out there, photos of Toby and Andrew, and so it's pretty much like the worst kept secret. So people were saying, just throw them in the trailer. We already see them, and so just let it be.
I appreciate it though. I appreciate that, even though it's obvious, they're going to this length and this extent, at least for the general audience, to maintain that surprise. Because there is a large general audience out there that doesn't nitpick things, that doesn't, follow, and then they just get surprised in the movie theater. I think that makes a lot more sense at the end, that it's not just Tom Holland all by himself, little Peter Parker fighting these sinister, it seems like, 3 or 4 at that
Sinister
point?
5.
All by himself, all by his lonesome. So, no, it makes sense that he would have some buddies with him.
Yeah, and speaking about buddies, when it comes to the Sinister Six, Electro, we see Jamie Foxx in his new appearance. So this seems like this isn't the Electro from The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, but another, multiverse Electro, because he does not look like the Jamie Foxx or the Electro in that previous film. He looks something like that we see in the comics, a little more comic friendly when it comes to like the electric mask that he has and like some of his powers. He's not blue, so that I feel like they're making corrections, things that they knew they messed up on in the previous films, and trying to correct them, do the character, do the actors some justice. But yeah, we had a look at Willem Dafoe, not actually him, but of the Green Goblin. There's one scene where it shows the Green Goblin, presumably the Green Goblin without his mask on, flying in hot. And people think maybe that's the Hobgoblin, maybe that's Harry Osborn, James Franco. But we've seen, again, because of leaks online, there shows some versions of Willem Dafoe with the helmet, the normal signature helmet, and some without, but he's wearing goggles of some sort. So we'll see if the Hobgoblin makes an appearance.
I love his voice.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
Yeah, I love it. I love hearing him again. He was one of my favorite villains ever with Tobey.
Yeah. And we saw J. Jonah Jameson, this MCU version of J. Jonah Jameson, different from the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, but still the same actor. So that's great. Love that. But overall, you know what? I'm hyped. December 17th, the movie is coming out. And do you have any last thoughts on the trailer?
Yeah, I do, James, and I wanted to know what you thought. I felt like the humor was really forced, and I have one other qualm with the MJ falling at the end. I hate it. I hate it because I feel like it's rehash. I feel like it's rehash of what's been done in like every single Spider-Man movie ever, and maybe that's why they're doing it. But of course, he's got to save his MJ, but it just... or maybe it's just I'm biased and I want little Peter Parker to be happy, but I don't know. That's my final thoughts on that.
So here's a little curveball on that thing, because like you mentioned, in the first one, MJ falls, Green Goblin drops her, Spider-Man saves her. The second one, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man doesn't save Gwen Stacy. She actually ends up dying when that Hobgoblin version, or I forget which version of the Goblin they were in The Amazing Spider-Man, but in that version, Gwen Stacy dies. That Peter Parker is not quick enough to save her. Some theories are going out there because obviously Andrew Garfield's going to be in this one. Maybe there's a little twist where he ends up saving MJ and then kind of redeeming himself, because you have to imagine that Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker, that it's because of him, in an indirect way, that Gwen Stacy died. That's going to have a big emotional impact on that character, on that version of Peter Parker. And so it's going to be interesting to see where at this stage that Peter is at, and will this saving MJ possibly be a redeeming factor for his own character, for his own self-worth. So that's that's one thing that, it may be a little twist, a little curveball, but let us know what you think. What did you think about the trailer? Do you notice any twists or curveballs in there as well? There are a bunch of Easter eggs, and so please comment down below. Let us know what you saw so we can rewatch it with new eyes. But yeah, December 17th, Spider-Man No Way Home coming out in theaters. I am definitely going to watch it. And last tidbit, The Eternals came out a couple weeks ago. I'm not too excited about that movie. I still haven't seen it. I plan to, but there's no excitement for that. There's a lot of excitement for this Spider-Man movie, and I can't wait to watch it.
Ditto, on the same train with you on The Eternals and on this. I'm still excited, but I'm nervous. I'm a lot more nervous than I was before, but I'm still excited for it. This is definitely, it's always Christmas time. They put out one of the big movies, one of the big events of the year. So oh God, here's crossing my fingers and my toes and all of that for a great movie and for a happy little Peter Parker at the end. Oh God.
Well,
All right.
yeah. Well, thanks again for watching this quick trailer breakdown reaction. Thank you so much. Until next time, until our next episode, I'm James.
I'm Jamie. See you next time.
Bye.